All right. Good morning and welcome to another edition of a Google Plus Hangout for a Channels Beam. I am Vic. Sorry, today we're looking at the program that was launched, the new national orientation program that was launched by President Muhammadu Buhari. But then today, joining me to look at this program, which was titled "The Change Begins with Me" program, is first Sheun Ashiru, who joins us from Lagos. Sheun, good morning and thanks for coming on the program. We also have Najib Bello. Najib also joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. And then we have Tony Nwakala, who also joins us from Lagos in Nigeria. Showing you came first on the Hangout, so let's just start from your own end. What do you think about this program?
Thank you very much, Victor. Well, it begins with me is self. But I have a few issues with it.
Sorry, Showing your thoughts are kind of disjointed. Can you use an earpiece or something? We can't hear. I think you break a word. All right. While you do that, Najib, let's just come to hear from you. What your thoughts are about this?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, we can hear you now, Sean. It seems you're still sorting this thing out. We'll come back to you in a minute, Sean. Najib, let me just come to you to get your own stance on this project that was launched by the president some days ago.
All right. My thoughts on it is I have very serious reservations concerning this campaign. First off, I think this change thing we are talking about, for now, what I know as this change is a slogan for the APC party. You understand? So first and foremost, I think it's not right that the APC is using the federal might to push what seems to be its own party slogan. You understand? That's my first reservation with the whole change begins with me stuff. And already, the government, the National Orientation Agency and the Ministry of Information, they had been pursuing a different, which seemed very fine with me. They had a Do the Right Thing campaign, which was going on, and all of a sudden, this change begins with me came along, and there was a launching, and you know what followed with the flawed speech, the plagiarized speech. I think there's just a lot that is just wrong with it. I don't think we need this right now. I just feel I'm not in support of it.
All right, very well, Najib. You said there's a lot that is wrong with it. I'll come back and hold you to your words on this wrongs that you say are inherent in the program. But then, Shehu, let me come back to you. I believe you have sorted out your audio. Let's also get your own thoughts on this program. Yeah, we're trying.
It begins with a campaign. For me, is an initiative in itself. But I have an issue with the timing. Now say that the quality of a nation.
Sorry, Shehu, if you can come again.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, please go ahead now.
So I said that the Change Begins With Me campaign is a good initiative in itself, but I have an issue with the timing. And I'd like to say that the quality of a nation is solely dependent on the quality of the people in that nation. So I believe that we, the people, really have a in development. Now, the Change Begins With Me campaign came at the time when Nigerians are not willing to hear that. I personally feel that the purpose of this initiative, as said by the Minister of Information, is to enlighten Nigerians to appreciate the value of accountability and integrity. But I'd like to say that to a large extent, and because we wouldn't have voted for this administration, because we voted for this administration based on accountability and integrity, talking about the personality of our president. So we are not just at this level. The Ministry of Information has not been passing the right info before now. I believe that it's like a book that has different chapters. You now come and give us chapter 5 when you should have started from chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm mal-informed, if I will use that word, about the things that are happening in this country. The Ministry of Information is supposed to focus on how to educate us more, educate the lowest person in this country on what is really happening, from the market woman to the executives. You don't just come and start telling us that change begins with us, because it's making me feel that the change you're talking about is different from the change that you campaigned with. The change you campaigned with is a political change, not the change we actually thought, because we voted for accountability. Now, the issue I have with this, with that again, is that realize that the Ministry of Information says something else, the presidency says something else, you hear something else again from maybe spokesperson and all of that. So there is even
all right, Sims.
now you now think that timing for this particular campaign, they need to start helping trust in them. This is the current situation that we are in this country.
All right. All right, Seun. I will come back to you again also in just a minute, but then let's also hear from Tony. Tony also joins us from Lagos in Nigeria. Tony Wakalo. You heard Najib and you heard Seun as well. But what do you make of this program that was launched by the president some few days back?
Good morning, Victor. Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. I think my perspective is that it's a very good idea. I don't think it's ill-timed. Nigerians are quite an emotional people. Any connection between what the government is doing
Wow. All right, Tony, if you can hear me, we can't hear you.
Is required.
Tony, if you can hear me, we can't hear you. We'll have to come back to you. Najib, let me just come back to you to hold you to some of your words earlier on while you were making your opening statements. You said there are a lot of wrongs with the project. All right, so can you please just state some of these wrongs?
Yeah, primarily, let's start from the change itself. Change was an APC political slogan. It's just like PDP. We've always known PDP power. You understand? I feel it would be wrong if PDP got into the government and tried to use government resources to promote the power is in your hands. You understand? Because if you use those resources to promote the power is in your hands for 3 years, by 2019, their slogan will be in everybody's mouth by virtue of government resources. So I do feel that using the government to promote change begins with me. Even in Buhari's speech, towards the end of it, he says that it's a change campaign, which is what the APC is known for. That is just the, I know it's subliminal, most people will not understand this, but it's an APC agenda in the background. But secondly, when the president or the National Orientation Agency or the Minister of Information is telling me the change begins with me, I voted in 2015 You understand? I participated in initiating the change we're having now. You understand? You can't come and tell me towards the end of 2016 that the change is going to begin with me. When? Why now? You understand? We voted you. We went to bring about this change more than a year ago. And you are just people tell me that the change has not begun. Is strange to me. You understand? So I feel that there is so much. And the people that even wrote the speech of the change begins with me, we are having issues with them, you know, criminally copying somebody else's speech. So even the people that wrote the speech, the change has not even begun with them yet. So there is a lot that is wrong with it. We don't need, I know we need orientation, but like the first speaker has shown, right? He said that what we need right now is for the National Orientation Agency and the Ministry of Information to really tell us what the government is doing at every level. People should know. You go to the newspaper stands in Lagos and hear the kind of ignorance people are talking. They have no idea what government is doing, and they have to make up their own stories. So the Ministry of Information has not even informed people of what they've been doing over the past year. We've not done that simple thing of telling them, going to Radio Nigeria, going to all the radio networks that the government has, NTA, other things. They've not used those to even tell people that this is what Buhari is doing, this is why you are seeing this is why this is happening. Bear with us. They've not been able to even convince them. They are trying to push propaganda. You understand? I'm not saying propaganda is a bad thing. Propaganda can be a good thing. You understand? When you want to push a way of change, attitudinal change. But you've not even told someone good morning. The person has not accepted your good morning, and you are trying to bring an attitudinal change message to him. It won't work now. It won't work.
All right, if you say so, but then we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, if it works or not. But then also joining us is Ben Cosmos, and he's joining us from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Ben, we'll come back to you in just a minute. Tony Wakala joins us again. Tony, yes, let's get to hear from you. Earlier on, your internet was a bit shaky. So go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so what I was trying to point out was the fact that the situation with the change begins with me. I don't think it's ill-timed. I think that the Nigerians generally need a reorientation. I understand there's a lot of frustration over the state of the economy. With the attitudinal change of the people. Hello. Looking into the airport to get to do with the recession and pulling us out.
Hello, Tony, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I think because your thoughts are kind of disjointed, so I'm thinking we should maybe put up your video and then just use a picture of
the video, right?
Yeah, that should suffice. I mean, it will reduce the density of the internet.
Okay, maybe you should.
Pardon?
Okay, I think I put up the video now.
Yeah, it's off. All right, so let's see how this works here.
Okay, so what I was saying is the change begins with me. The change begins with me campaign is actually a very good government leading this charge. There might be a few complaints here and there over the fact that some of the government shown the right kind of example or haven't started doing the things that will show change. This change is actually real, and Nigerians, are frustrated with some of these signs and the body language, as it were. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that we do need a reorientation. As if you look on social media, even analyzing issues, national issues, social issues, you find there's a lot of abusive invectives. People are not able to have issue-based discussions anymore. There's deep divisions in the country. some of these issues help, people begin to understand attitude, their thoughts related in the change mantra. And you cannot be trying to change a country that is made up of people who still do not understand the need for attitudinal change. So I think it goes hand in hand, in my opinion.
All right, very well. You're bringing a whole new narrative to this discussion, but then we'll come back to you again. Come back to you and also come back to some of the participants to get a reaction from them. But also let's get to listen from Ben Cosmos, who joins us from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Ben, I don't know what time it is over there, but good day and welcome on board.
It's evening here. And nice to join you guys on Google Hangout.
Very well done.
And the issue of change, when the issue of this change came up, a lot of people want things to be done in a different way, and that was why Nigerians voted out the PDP and brought in the APC in government. So every Nigerian is waiting to see the body language of Mr. President and his cabinet and other top government officials, and his body language will speak a lot. It will really speak a lot. Unfortunately, we're in the time where Nigeria is undergoing recession, and this has to do with our mode of spending, how we spend public fund, how we use public fund, the kind of traveling allowances, a lot of things. We want to see a lot of change in every aspect. It's true that the change begins with us, but I think the government should spearhead the change we're talking about. And the issue of change, I think in the history of in Nigeria, that we no longer even believe ourselves anymore. We don't even believe our leaders when they even tell us that they will do this. We just take it as a normal talk, and everyday talk, and they talk and talk and talk, and at the end of the day, nothing happens. So it's just like issue that is happening in the country right now. But the issue of change we are talking about is, I agree that the change you're talking about begins with everybody, but the body language of Mr. President and his cabinet and his team should also we send a very good signal, either a wrong signal to us or a bad signal. It depends on the kind of signal and how you try to understand it. Like I saw this afternoon, I saw a video on Instagram between two policemen. One saw a phone, and he tries to call the owner of the phone, and the other policeman was like, "Why are you doing this?" And the other policeman was like telling him, "No, we have to return back this phone. This is my job. You're greedy." I know that kind of advert have a very long way to go, and he's sending a very right signal that, look, not all policemen are corrupt. We have the good ones in them, and how do we do to fish out those bad ones and get them out from the police force so that they don't corrupt the good ones we're having? And such advert will help a long way. That advert, I think, on Instagram so far, I think I've seen about how many million likes already on the advert. And so this kind of thing will go a long way to change the mindset of Nigerians, and not just the mindset of Nigerians, also in the international community, who believe that once you step into our airport, someone is trying to hustle you from the immigration, even down to hotel room, stuff like that. These things has gone a long way that even the international community begin to something that is not even right thinking for us. Just like I remember the last time I came back home, and we all in the airplane. Once the airplane touched down the Abuja International Airport, the plane was still moving, trying to park very well. People started jumping up and trying to take their back, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Allow this thing to land very well. You will still go out, and everybody will still go out. How are you jumping? This kind of thing is like so rowdy, and I'm like, what is wrong with us? And it's been there. It's just like it's a character that we have, and when we travel out, we behave normal. When we come to Nigeria, we begin to behave as if we don't have laws, rules, and regulations. I think the president's body language will go a long way, and this is where the Minister of Communication and Information should come to play here. They need to do their job very well, because this ministry has a long way to go. Give us the right information, and also we want to begin to see people being getting punished for doing the wrong thing. The moment we begin to see people being punished for traffic offenders, are supposed to queue, I think it will send a very good signal that, look, things are changing. Seeing policemen who have taken bribe being sent to jail, not just the lower rank officers, but also the top police officers who send them to take this in, because they don't take this money for themselves. Someone will put them there. At the end of the day, they want to get returned back. We want to see them, this is going from job. Big men being sent to prison. It will send the right signal to us. And this
All
change
right.
will start from there.
All right, very well. Then a man of many words, obviously. But then, let me just come back to Najib and Sheil. Tony is saying that okay, that this is actually coming at the right time, and he believes it's a right step in the right direction. How do you react to some of the things he said? Yeah, Sheil, how do you react to some of the things that Tony said?
Itself is okay, but I strongly believe that real leadership is supposed to be servant leadership, the leadership that comes based on lay down examples. A leadership that doesn't make the leader a superior personality to the follower. So whatever campaign they come up with, they need to let us know that we are on the same page with them. The 10 Begins With Me campaign is good, but the thing is, let us live by it from the smallest to the highest. Sometimes I even think that the House of Assembly is in a different country other than Nigeria, because you realize that
It seems we're actually losing some of Sheil's thoughts there. Najib, just kindly save the day before he gets his internet back.
Yeah, like I said to in the beginning, the change. Can I go? All right. The change that they are preaching, you understand? It can come, first and foremost, they can preach something, they can do something about attitudinal change. They don't need to use their party slogan on us. We don't need that. Earlier in the year, or about, up to early this year, the National Orientation Agency was pushing a slogan, which is do the right thing. I saw it on social media, hashtag do the right thing. And I even sent them a message online saying, oh, I like this stuff you are doing. If you need some publication or publishing or anything regarding it or sharing of it on social media, press releases or something, you know. And all of a sudden, I started getting hints of a new slogan coming. And it had to do with this whole change. I am worried about that word change, which is a party slogan being infused into messages passed down by government to Nigerians. I'm worried about it, you know, because it is kind of party propaganda. Most people would not know, but I know. Now, secondly, when you talk about attitudinal change, when Buhari came into government, he had talked before about, oh, the presidential fleet of jets, there are so many. Why does the president need so many? Oga, what is happening still? You are using them, sell the jets. He's supposed to have done that since last year. You know, if you do these things and people know that you are doing this, there's something he did. He didn't buy new cars for himself. He didn't buy a fleet of new presidential cars. That was good. You understand? But more, what will sound more, what Nigerians will see more, the sale of those jets. Sell them, tell Nigerians how much you sold them and say, okay, you are putting it into agriculture, so number of farmers, maybe 10,000, you give them 1 million naira each. We will know that this is, you are changing something, you know. Then the other day I talked about, just like he said, senators, look at the Nigerian senators. This, in the budget for this year, they put about some 4 billion naira for their cars. The cars that they were going to use, 109 of them, they said it was something cars they were going to use to go around the country. That's 4 billion naira. I was talking yesterday about the IDPs, the 2 million IDPs in Nigeria. We budgeted 3 billion naira for their care. Now, are you going to send a message to someone who you budgeted 4 naira per day to take care of his living. That is 4 naira every day. Each IDP from that 3 billion, if you divide it by 2 million people, every day each one is allotted 4 naira to feed, to bathe, to clothe, to do everything. And you are going to send down a message. The change begins with me. How? What are you talking about? Then you are driving around in a 45 million naira SUV. You understand? And as a senator, then you drive down there with some cartons of Indomie and you tell them change begins with them. It's rubbish. You understand? It's a very, very terrible idea. And the message of what are you doing as a government? What are you doing at the UN right now? People do not even know that Buhari is at the UN trying to tell the world that we have to come together and do something about the Lake Chad Basin. People around the Lake Chad Basin don't know what Buhari and Ambode and the rest are doing at the UN right now. Inform them, make sure the people that he's going there to speak for know that he's there because of them, to speak for their help. The people don't know this. The National Orientation Agency has not taken this message down to those people.
All right.
The ministry has not taken that message down to those people. Then you want to effect attitudinal change. It's like you can't, and then you are saying you want to teach professors. So it's wrong. It's wrong. There's a lot wrong.
All right, Averell, again, we'll come back to you. But just before we do that, Tony, again, you are back. You heard Najib most of the time before you just fell back in. How do you respond to some of the things? Because he's saying that one, it's party propaganda, and then two, he talked about attitudinal change, which he says he is yet to see from those who are actually leading and also pushing the Change Begins With Me program.
Okay, Victor, thank you once again. My thoughts in that regard are stuff. Whether change begins with me is a political mantra or I can't remember what it says, is do the right thing, I think. It's just a matter of semantics, in my opinion. The most important thing is the outcome of these campaigns. So whether it's called change begins with me or do the right thing, it is not as important as how Nigerians embrace it. Now, rightfully said, there are issues with communication and with body language. You want to see the president sell off the aircraft and commit it to whether it be agriculture or solid minerals or whatever areas that, or you run a nation that things are not done on the spur of the moment. The president doesn't have the right to just say, oh, let's sell the aircrafts. You know, the president doesn't have the right to say, oh, you know what, I suggest the House of Reps should reduce their salary. We have the revenue mobilization committee. So this situation that we are faced with, I don't think we should be looking at issues of, how the senators are spending 109 purchasing 109 vehicles at whatever rate. I think if there are issues with budgeting to the legislative chamber or budgeting to the presidency, there's proper channels to deal with these issues. These things don't change overnight because these are systems that are entrenched. These are systems that have been for a while. We've been talking about the issue of legislative reform. It doesn't happen overnight. Nigeria is there's a deep cultural and religious. We must pay attention to that. We're a peculiar nation. We're not like countries that have, what we call a nation state. So in dealing with our issues, we have to be a bit more pragmatic and more realistic. I think that the president has done absolutely that. Just that he has brought to the table, and nobody has ever accused him of you took what didn't belong to you. Debate social development. I think that enough for me personally. That's enough is made because we run a multi. I think that John here is what is my opinion about the change begins with me mantra. I think it is perfectly timed. I think Nigerians are long overdue for now change, and it doesn't really matter if it's do the right thing or change begins with me.
Tony, if you can hear me, we're Tony, if you can hear me. Hello, Tony. All right, I guess we're losing Tony. We've actually lost Tony right there. His internet isn't too well, but then we need to start wrapping up the conversation now. Seun, let me come to you now to get your closing remarks just before we go.
My main submission is this: to make that
we can hear you well, Seun.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I was actually hearing some feedback that was really distracting me.
Okay, go ahead now.
Okay. Like, to be effective, such campaigns should have been well voted for at the higher level. I said before, sometimes I wonder if the House of Assembly is different country, because I realize that what is going on in the executive is not in synchronization with what is going on in the House of Assembly. At the time that National Orientation Agency came up with this particular campaign, they should have gone to early in the House of Assembly, where each senator or representative will vote and say, I pledge to this campaign, and I'm going to live by this campaign. When they all have one voice, Nigerians will follow them. Until when they begin to communicate the right set of information to the people, for them to be well informed and not be mal-informed, then people will begin to listen to their campaign. We voted for accountability and integrity from the beginning. So Change Begins With Me campaign did not just start today. It started through the election time. Until today, we are still open. We'll meet and fulfill their promises. And that is what Nigerians are waiting for. Until we see them play their own role very well, then Nigerians will begin to follow suit. Nigerians know that we have people problem in this country. That's why when you go to well-developed countries, until the government creates a system that works, see that Nigerians will synchronize. It's a mindset problem, but it has to start from the.
Thank you very much, Seun Ashiru. You're joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. But then, Ben, also let me just come to you also to get your closing remarks briefly, because I know you are a man of many words, before we go.
Yeah, the issue of change, I think it has started already. We saw the budget padding saga that just came up and with the National Assembly, and we were told that this is not the first time this has been happening. But we thank God that someone was courageous enough to speak out, and we all get to know padding and padding and padding. I think the change has started, but the problem is if the people on top will be able to adopt and will be able to adjust, for the entire nation as a whole. And we should remove our selfish interests aside and put the collective interest of everyone on board. I think this will go a long way to help us, because if the guys in the National Assembly will be able to coordinate themselves and also help us as a nation, because right now they're taking huge allowances. We want to see that change going in there, because I know right now most of them are battling with it. They're battling with it because they are also finding it difficult to give up some of the luxurious lifestyle they are living, feeding on our commonwealth, just a few number of people in the National Assembly. I think if now they are fighting and battling with it, I believe that with hands and the body language of Mr. President, I think we will go a long way to achieve this real change, because it's been long overdue. We want to see things being done in a different way. We want to see things being done in a different direction, even with this economic recession, we should use this opportunity to know how we can build our local industry. This is the best opportunity we have with this recession. Let our money stay in home. Let us have good economic policies, something different that will help the whole nation grow at large. And also in the fight against corruption, and give the agencies free hands. Whoever that is involved in any sharp practices, bring that person to book. That is just what I'm looking for. The issue of plea bargain, let us get at least conviction. Let us begin to see big people, big people, these high class people who have stolen our commonwealth. Let us begin, even if they will return some, but at least let the court pronounce them guilty and let us know that they have been found guilty, and we can boldly call them thieves and criminals. At least this change will begin to happen, and we all will begin to reap the benefits of change we're talking about. For me, I wish the president well, and all that he has in store for this nation. I wish Nigeria well, and I also wish that we Nigerians individuals, we should also look at our lifestyle, our attitude, the way we behave in the public, in the banking, when we go to the banks. I mean, just our attitude as a whole. We should look inward and see, even to this man on the street, we all need this change so that we can do things differently and make Nigeria a great nation.
Thank you very much, Ben Cosmos. You're joining us from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. But then, Najib, also, let's get your own closing remarks just before we go. And of course, I know you'd want to react to some of the things Tony said earlier on, but...
Well, not necessarily. Well, let me just say one thing. He says that there's bureaucracy with the government. The president can't just stand up and say, oh, I'm going to sell off the jets, and the jets are sold. You know, but he's been there since May 29th, and this is September 19th. How long did it take him to approve this Change Begins With Me project, which is a nationwide campaign? It took him just less than 3-4 months to get it approved. So why is it taking him more than a year to sell up the jets? Is there no bureaucracy when it comes to Change Begins With Me? So that's just what I wanted to say regarding what Tony said. The president can actually speak this thing up and say, oh, I entered May 29th. We need to sell these things off before July. You understand? He could have done that. But anyway, that's that for the jet. Generally, of the campaign, like I said, I'm not okay with the name because it's a party slogan. It's the president's party slogan. And I feel they are forcing it down Nigerians' throats with our own resources, with our own funds. They are promoting their party indirectly. That's one. Then secondly, we are not seeing the change. We went and began the change with our votes. We started these votes back in March. We started this whole change thing back in March. So there's no need to tell us change begins with us. We began the change. Without us, you will not be there. So just do the change that we voted you to do. Then if you want to change attitude also, let us be informed. You cannot start changing people you've not talked to. I said something about the president communicating. The president does not communicate with Nigerians. He comes out once in a while and he reads speeches. He comes out once in a while and Femi Adesina and Garba Shehu, they send us press releases. He doesn't come out and talk to Nigerians. I'm not talking about reading speech. I was saying it the other day. President Buhari does not come out and say, I heard about this thing that happened, so. This is my thoughts. Nigerians, please, let's do it this way. We are working on it. He doesn't, he just says, write me a speech, which his speechwriters now copy speeches from great leaders all around the world, patch it together for him, and he reads it to Nigerians, and that's all. Let the change begin with them. That they're talking things that people cannot understand. Femi Adesina, Garba Shehu, that come to tell us that the recession is not real or that Nigerians are not really suffering. This country is hard. I'm not lying to you. I see people every day. I take the bus. I see people that are going to work in Lagos. There are ladies that are going to work. They now tell you, please lap me to work. I'm not lying to you. You understand? Things are really very hard. You understand? Communicate with us. Tell us what you are doing. The people in the street do not know what you're doing. Before you can even go further, attitudinal change is a very complex system. You cannot do the simple thing of just saying, this is what I'm doing, and show it to us Nigerians and let us believe you. I've just jumped, you cannot take staircase, you are jumping to a mountain. it won't work. It won't work. And I'm sorry they're going to spend billions of naira on this thing and they come back to the same place. They're headed there, and time is not their friend. Shortly we will be in 2019. Already we are at the end of 2016. You understand? And basically they have really for visible things, they have done nothing. I'm not saying they've not done anything at all, but things that people can feel and use to better our lives, we have not. All right. Let them start the change. Let them do the change. We began the change by voting.
All right. Sure, you're welcome. Najib Bello, thank you very much for joining the Hangout. You joined from Lagos, Nigeria, and also Ben Cosmos again from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and as well as Sharon Ashu, who joined from Lagos, and Tony Wakala, who isn't here at the moment. I think his internet failed him along the line. But then thanks, guys, for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts. Again, we'll see you next week when we come up with another burning issue in the country. Again, it's the Google Plus Hangout for Channels Beam, and I'm Victor Matthias.
All right.